talking about Cam Ward. Now, they fired a coach in Callahan pretty early. I don't agree with it in the sense of, again, do I think Callahan was the answer at coach? No, but again, you took Cam Ward with the number one overall pick, and now somebody else is going to be calling plays, being the head coach. I think that's, again, putting a lot on somebody within 7 weeks of learning the NFL. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it should have been a little later. Then when you look at Cam Ward as well, and we talked about it with other people, there are some people that get drafted in the top 10 that could completely change an organization, that they could put the whole offense on their shoulders, dig out an organization from underneath them, no matter how bad the situation is. I don't necessarily think Cam Ward is that. I think he's going to be a guy that needs pieces around him. Again, like almost anybody does, but I think he's going to need definitely pieces around him to succeed. When you look at Cam Ward, again, they don't have the weapons. They don't have a run game. Their offensive line is, I don't know if it's dead last, but it's at the bottom. And the game script for him, when you're not able to run the football and you're down in games, it's suicide. Like, he's literally just sitting back there, taking hits. They know the play call. He doesn't have the weapons. He doesn't have a run game, and it's predictable within the second quarter, middle of the second quarter from the game on out, and he's just set up to fail. Now, I said it with Caleb Williams. I don't think he's nearly as great of a prospect as Caleb Williams is. We all know how much I love Caleb Williams, but when you look at a guy that loves to extend plays and has the mobility to do it, when you don't have an offensive line or a run game, it's just not going to happen for you. Is he taking sacks again that he shouldn't be taking? Yeah, of course. But when you have no rhythm at all as well with a run game, with consistent play calling, it has looked really bad. And I think Cam Ward is going to be one of these guys, if things don't turn it around, that his situation made him the player he is. I think he's maybe a guy that they give 2 or 3 years to, and unless you see drastic improvement within this roster, he would basically never have a chance to succeed in the NFL, whether he had the talent to do so or not. And again, I don't think he's a guy that's going to be an elite quarterback. I think he's a guy that can be good in the NFL with his skill set, but I'm questioning right now, and it's extremely early, if it's ever going to happen in Tennessee, because they don't have a coach and they don't have a roster either. So, how is this going to happen within the realistic time frame of this current time in the NFL, where quarterbacks get less of a time frame to show themselves than ever? How much better could Tennessee be in 2 years unless they just hit on everything and have a massive overhaul? This guy may never have a chance to succeed.
Yeah, and honestly, I think this what led to this conversation about Cam Ward, I felt like it all started when the Titans traded AJ Brown, because since that point, the Titans have just gone on the tailspin. Now, I think the bloom, and you would agree with this, the bloom was going to come off the rose with Ryan Tannehill. But since they traded AJ Brown, I mean, this Titans franchise has just been a joke. And they move off of Mike Vrabel, and you see what he's doing over in New England now. You go to Callahan, who's with the Bengals, and he doesn't even make it through his second year. And the roster is not in a good spot. I mean, the receivers aren't great. Calvin Ridley is 30 years old and he can't stay healthy, and he was out of the league for a year for different reasons. And I wonder, they're probably going to move off of him. Tyler Lockett signed with them, and then he requested to be released, so now he's going to go somewhere else. And they had DeAndre Hopkins for a little bit, but they traded him last year. You do have some receivers over there, and you still got Tony Pollard, a veteran running back that you signed, but yeah, there's just a lot of problems with this team. I don't think the defense is awful. I still think the defense has some good players on it, but it's just a lot of work that needs to be done. It's amazing that the Titans were able to win a game this year against the Cardinals.
That was like a magical win.
Yeah, I mean, it's as magical as it can get. I mean, you were seeing things that you would never have seen in an NFL game before.
That wasn't necessarily being the better team for 4 quarters.
No, it wasn't.
That was a lot of luck.
That was a lot of luck. You had an interception. I can't even believe that this happened. Cam Ward throws a pick. then the Cardinals player, he tries to get up, he drops the ball, and then the ball, it's like a pinball machine with all the players. It ends up in the end zone, and Tyler Lockett, who's not on the team anymore, recovers it for a touchdown. And it just, I don't know how they won that game. I really don't know how they won that game, but they won a game, and it's just, yeah. I watched a little bit of the on Red Zone when they played the Raiders, and it's just, and the Raiders are bad. The Titans couldn't do anything. And, the ball is slipping out of Cam Ward's hand, and on one possession that led to a turnover. It's just, I don't think it's reflective on him obviously, yes, he's a rookie and he hasn't been great, but I think he just ended up in such a bad situation that, yeah, he looks bad because, yeah, part of it is he's a rookie, but a lot of it has to do with the situation that he's in. He is not in a great situation. And yes, when you're a rookie and you're taken with the number 1 overall pick, odds are you're going to end up in a situation that's not great. And that's what happened to him. So, I think you still got to try to figure things out. And he's made some good plays this year. Like against the Rams, he had that touchdown pass where he was, he was improving and, he chucked the ball from from the sideline to the other side of the field for the touchdown. The talent is there, but he is just in such a bad situation. So it's really hard to kind of evaluate what kind of player he is when he doesn't have a lot of help. So this is another team that has got a lot of work to do, and they got to bring in the right head coach, which I don't know who that's going to be, but Titans got a lot of work to do. But I think you still got to give this guy more of a runway. Not that he's in jeopardy of losing his job or anything, like they're going to pull a plug on him, but I'm just saying, like, it's tough to evaluate him. You got to get more pieces in to help him along. So that's kind of where I'm at with him. But yeah, it just looks so bad right now.
Yeah, I feel like like you said, I feel like you just can't evaluate him. And I think, again, you were alluding to, obviously they went off from A.J. Brown, went off from Derrick Henry, whatever, that whole stint with Ryan Tannehill. But that team hit their ceiling.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
They were a product of a weak division. We knew Ryan Tannehill couldn't really take them to where they wanted to go to. Like, the team had a ceiling of, making the playoffs, winning a playoff game, and that's about it. But what they have done after that, again, with the product of whatever pieces they got from certain trades, draft picks or whatever, it has been a disaster for them. And I feel like they've signed so many veterans to try to build a culture. When you look at Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, Snead, all these people.
They signed Tyler Boyd too, and he's gone now.
Like, they signed all these veterans that better days are like so behind them. And I get building a culture, but like at the same time, it's like you bring in 1 or 2 veterans to build a culture, but you can't bring in all these veterans that aren't producing on the field and expect like a team to gather around them. Like, again, what they're doing on the field is not working. And again, I don't know if it's going to be like, again, as we talked about recently in NFL, where maybe down the line, I don't want to talk about it, Cam Ward becomes a reclamation project. But for me personally, unless something massively happens in Tennessee, I don't see a way this guy succeeds. I don't see how anybody would unless they're like an all-time great talent. Because, again, it has been pretty bad how he's set up for success. And I don't know who's going to want to coach this team.
It's got to be somebody. Somebody's going to want to take the job. Somebody has to take the job. They can't go into the season.
Situation like Aaron Glenn last year, where he has ties to the team and nobody else wants him. And hey, I'm looking for a pay grade because nobody who has options is going to choose this one.
Yeah, it's tough. It is going to be. We'll see. We'll see if somebody's going to take it. Maybe it's just, again, maybe it's another first-time head coach. Maybe it's a coordinator. It's they got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I'm nervous for Cam Ward for